I am here to discuss truth-condition theories by Davidson's program. Davidson, a theory of meaning, is a descriptive semantics that shows how to pair a speaker's statements with their meanings. And it does this by displaying how semantical properties or values are distributed systematically over the expressions of one's language. In short, it shows how to construct the meanings of a speaker's sentences out of the meanings of their parts and how those parts are assembled. Under the truth conditions, Davidson argued that we will get where we want to be if we replace the positivist notion of sentence verification condition with that of the sentence truth condition. On this view, to know a sentence meaning is to know the conditions under which that sentence would be true, rather than to know how to tell whether the sentence is actually true. Davidson begins with two ideas that prove to be related. One is that a theory of meaning should afford guidance on what determines the meaning of a particular sentence. The other is that of giving central importance to the wondrous phenomenon. Davidson's idea to equate meanings with truth conditions is doubtless clever. It provides, however, a suitable basis for a theory of meaning only if a number of tricky conditions turn out to be fulfilled. Among these conditions are: Condition 1 obviously names the core idea of Davidson's truth-conditional approach to semantics, namely that to know that semantic concept of truth for a language is to know what it is for a sentence, any sentence of a specific language, to be true, and this amounts in one good sense we can give to the phrase to understanding the language. The Davidsonian assumption has, however, prima facie plausibility, since we can judge a sentence truth or falsity only under the condition that we know what the sentence happens to mean. Condition 2 is that every sentence of a language has to be such that it possesses or might be analyzed as possessing a particular set of truth conditions. The existence of sentences without truth conditions would thus prove the inadequacy of that approach. Speculations about the existence of such sentences are not baseless questions and commands. Condition 3 asks for a suitable conception of truth. Such a conception is a conception that allows the construal of truth theories which mirror our respective languages' structures. Davidson claims that a suitably modified version of Alfred Tarski's semantic conception of truth is capable to fulfill these conditions. Tarski thus defines the truth predicates in terms of linguistic meaning. Linguistic meaning is, however, always linguistic meaning of a particular language. Davidson's project tried to explain what is involved in giving a theory of meaning for a particular language. For example, in Urdu or English, the intuitive idea of a theory of meaning for a language, L, is the idea of a theory that tells you what all of the words and sentences in L mean. While executing his project, Davidson sharpens this intuitive idea considerably. What is involved in explaining the shape of a theory of meaning for a language ought to take? For Davidson, such an explanation must specify two things: the form that the axioms of theorems of the theory should take, and the evidence that should be used for testing the theory. First constraint on the form of a theory of meaning is compositionality. So why should a theory of meaning for a natural language respect the compositionality constraint? Davidson gives two related answers. The answer from finitude: a theory of meaning aims to state what every expression in a language means. In the case of a natural language, we can simply list all the expressions and say what each means. But we can generate theorems that tell us the meaning of every possible sentence in the language. Next is the interpretative answer. Unless we view the sentences of a natural language as built up of a finite stack of smaller parts, it will be impossible to interpret the language. Second constraint on the form of a theory of meaning is convention T. What are the theorems of a theory of meaning going to look like? What is it to give the meaning of a sentence? One obvious possibility is that the theorems should be one of the following forms. S means P, or S means that P, where S is replaced by an expression referring to a sentence and P is replaced by an expression that refers to or states the meaning of the sentence in question. For example, snow is white means that snow is white. Davidson thinks the proposal is instructive because it suggests that nothing is in better position to give the meaning of a sentence than that very sentence itself. We should fill in the gap with something more perspicuous. What other feeling could do the job? According to Davidson, an appealing answer is snow is white is true if snow is white. This sentence is certainly true, but we can reasonably view it as giving the meaning of that sentence, snow is white. According to Davidson, we can for doing so fits comfortably with an intuitive idea about meaning. Let's proceed to the truth-conditional view of sentence meaning. To understand an indicative sentence is to know the condition under which it is true. Suppose I say, my house is on fire. In order to understand what I have just said, you must know that it is true if the following condition holds, my house is on fire, the object language, the language for which the theory of meaning is being given, and the meta-language, the language in which the theory is being given, then when the object language and meta-language are the same, the theorems of the theory are to have the following form. S is true if P, where S is replaced by an expression referring to a sentence in the object language and P is replaced by that very sentence. Sentences of this general form are called P sentences. The problem with the proposal as it stands is that it only works for the special case in which the object language and meta-language are the same. We need a more general constraint. Davidson rejects framing a condition in these terms. For doing so, relies on the notion of translation, which is too close to the notion of sentence meaning that he seeks to elucidate. So he opts for a different tack. He suggests a constraint that is cleansed of any mention of translation. Convention T, or the Davidson's version, the theorems of a theory of meaning for an object language L must take the form S is true if P, where S is replaced by an expression in the meta-language referring to a sentence in the object language, and P is replaced by a sentence in the meta-language that is true if the object language sentence is true. Abandoning the appeal to translation opens Davidson to the objection that his version of convention T is too weak. All that his version requires is that the meta-language sentence on the right-hand side of the biconditional be true if the object language sentence referred to on the left-hand side is true. But consider the following two possible theorems proposed as parts of theories of meaning for English and French respectively. Snow is white is true in English if grass is green. In French, la neige est blanche is true if grass is green. Both of these sentences satisfy Davidson's convention T, but surely it would be a mistake to claim that they give the meaning of the relevant object language sentences in any sense, no matter how permissive that phrase. The bottom lines are, Davidson offers several arguments in defense of the truth-condition theory. The main argument is that compositionality is needed to account for understanding of long novel sentences' truth condition. Thus, Tarki's style is also modeled in defining truth. English sentences' surface grammar diverges from their logical forms. A theory of grammar and syntactic transformation is needed. In addition, Davidson's theory faces many objections. Perhaps the most damaging is that many perfectly meaningful sentences do not have truth values. Lastly, it may be possible to fuse Davidson with Grice by providing Gracian theory of term extensions, and that's the concept of truth-condition theory. And that's the essential points under truth-condition theories by Davidson's program. I hope you got it. I am your presenter, Claudine Bacar. Thank you, everyone.